If it's okay with you, let's get started. But before we get started, there are a couple of things I would like to cover up front. First of all, exactly why we are here, which I think we all know because you have a window sitting in your kitchen. Secondly, I would like to recap what we at LEI do just to make sure that everything our marketing representative conveyed to you holds true when you're on the same page about it. My name is Jillian. I'm the Director of Advertising at LEI Home Enhancements. I am in charge of what is called our Promotional Home Division. Our Promotional Home Division includes all of our advertising and sales. How this is through what is called direct marketing. So instead of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on billboards, commercials, magazine ads, and things of that nature, we take out the costly marketing and come directly to the client, saving you plenty. Now, we have actually grown our business to $30 million in sales in 13 different cities. Approximately 2 times a year, we will go to strategically placed locations or neighborhoods, and we will look for 2 homes that we can use. This is what we call our promotional homes or showcase homes. So what this entails is upon completion of the project, we will go ahead and put a small sign in your yard semi-annually for 1 year. We'll do before and after photos, which with your permission, we would use for advertising purposes like Homeoramas or home and garden shows, but it would never have your address on it. 1 year down the line, we would come back and we'd ask you for a statement. What the statement consists of is your overall energy savings over the first 12 months, overall quality of the windows, and your experience with LEI. It might take maybe 10 to 20 minutes to fill out, but if you're willing to do that for us at LEI, what LEI can do for you is absorb the cost of labor and installation, plus take an additional 30% off the retail end of the window from the manufacturer. So you will be getting the #1 rated vinyl window in America installed at over 50% off. We have 100% financing and even 0% interest loans for up to a year. We just try to make it as easy as possible to get our homes up in your area. Reason being is by the use of your home, we will average about 4 to 6 retail sales. So if you put 2 homes up in your area, that will end up being about 8 to 12 homes that use our product. Now, just to give you an idea, we have a target market, which has a 5-mile circumference. Within that target market, we will then break it down into 4 quadrants. Within each quadrant, we'll then go ahead and put 2 promotional homes up simultaneously. Once those homes are up, we'll then go ahead and send a mass mailer out to every home that's in that target market, continuing to promote those homes over the next 30 days. Reason being is by the end of that 30-day period, we average about 24 to 30 homes that use our product. It is a great way to advertise. Now, the only window that we promote is a Revelation Elite Series window. It is a triple pane, AAA rated window. I don't know if you know much about windows or not, but windows, believe it or not, are rated on a scale of D all the way up to AAA. Difference being, which only 6 companies do receive a AAA rating. Now, the major differences being are pretty much builder grade windows have served their purpose, and they are truly costing you money, whereas AAA rated windows are engineered to save you approximately 35% all the way up to 55% on your heating and cooling costs. Not to mention their spacer system, their glass packaging, their framing, its night and day difference. They will also take about 10 years off the look of your home. Now, what I came to do today is go over some things here on my tablet, like warranties and color styles and glass packaging. That'll take maybe about 10-15 minutes to go over. After that, I'll go ahead and I'll show you the window and all its cool little features. That might take another 10 minutes. After that, I'll go ahead and I'll measure out all your openings and I'll show you the lowest that LEI can do it for on a promotional home basis. If that's something that you want to do, that would be great. We would absolutely love to use your home. If not, though, that's okay too. What our marketing reps did that day was go through your neighborhood and pick out 4 homes and set 4 appointments. It's my job to come in and find the first 2 homes that want to do it, and then we move on to the next area. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions? All right. Now, the first thing I'd like to go over are the warranties. Reason being is that the most important thing for any home improvement or work being done in your home are the warranties that back not only the product, but also the work that's going to be done. Now, in the vinyl replacement window industry, 97% of the industry actually has a lifetime warranty on their frame and sash. So what that stipulates is if anything's going to get brittle, cracked, faded, chipped, warped, or something like that, they come out and they'd replace it for free. However, the downside is what they don't cover, which are the things that typically go wrong with a window, the mechanics of the window. So your locks, your balances, which raise and lower the window, the screens from popping out and tearing, against seal failure, which is where you get the condensation buildup and moisture on the glass, and even the glass itself from breaking. Also, in the United States, a lifetime warranty is really only for 7 years. So if they're telling you you have a lifetime warranty, it is a 7-year warranty. Kind of a smoke and mirrors technique. So with our warranty, we have the most comprehensive warranty in the industry today, period. What ours states is, for as long as you live in the home, everything on your window system is covered. So your frames, your sashes, your locks, your balances, your screens from popping out and tearing against seal failure. We even give to all promotional homes a 50-year accidental glass breakage warranty. The reason I mention that is because it's priceless. Say you were to have one of these windows break out and you went to go ahead and replace the glass. It would cost you just as much to replace a triple pane glass system hermetically sealed in your existing sash as it would be to replace the entire window system itself. Also, our warranties are completely transferable. So say you guys decide to stay here for another 10 more years and decide to move for whatever reason, you can take a AAA rated warranty, transfer it to the new homeowner, and now you have a true lifetime warranty. Not to mention it makes an excellent selling point when you go to sell the property, but it'll also help you with the property value. Now lastly, whether you decide to go with our company or not, there's something that you need to be aware of. Majority of home improvement companies will go at closing. They'll charge you $52 per window to transfer those warranties to the new homeowner. So you could go to closing and it could cost you upwards of $1,000 to transfer those warranties to the new homeowners. With our warranties, we cover all fees. Nothing is charged to you. Next thing I'd like to go over is what I call Windows 101. Reason being is not everybody does Windows for a living, and this will also give you a good idea of the windows that are out there on the market today. Now, according to Energy Star, 96% of the industry falls into industry standard category. Now, what does this mean? So, if you were to go to the internet, or heaven forbid, you still have the yellow pages laying around, and there are 288 different window companies, 276 of them would have basically the same window. Might be a few bells and whistles that are different, but overall frame and grade is going to be the same. Now, a few of the companies you might have heard of are Champion, Home Depot, Lowe's, Sears, and all your mom and pop shops. A few things that they have in common are they all cannot produce a triple pane. So they're all double pane. They fill your window with air, or if you spend a little extra, they'll use argon gas. They also utilize an aluminum spacer bar to separate the panes of glass, giving your windows a thermal break. And lastly, they utilize a hard coat low E to stop those harmful rays from coming into your home. You say that's great, Jill, but what does this all mean? Well, besides the overall look of the window aesthetically, besides the functionality of the window opening and closing for cleaning, the most important thing for a family today of a window is energy efficiency. So R value actually rates energy efficiency. The higher the R value, the more efficient the window is. The average R value for 96% of the industry is actually an R of 3.5. The highest for any industry standard window is actually Renewal by Andersen at 4.1. Then you get into the top 4% of the industry, which only 6 companies receive a AAA rating, AA and AAA. So a few of the companies you might have heard of are Champion, or the Designer Series by Pella, the Triple Pane Bolero Windows by Andersen, Thermal Guard Bristol, and the Revelation Elite Series by LEI. Now, a few things that we have in common are we all have the capability of producing a triple pane. Instead of filling your window with air or argon gas, we actually utilize krypton gas. Instead of utilizing that aluminum spacer bar, we actually utilize an Intercept U channel spacer. And lastly, we utilize solar band 16 to stop those harmful rays. Again, what does that really mean? Boils back down to that energy efficiency. So the average R value for the top 4% of the industry is actually an R of 5.2. The highest from the center of glass for any window in the nation is the Revelation Elite Series by LEI with an R10. Our window is 286% more efficient than 96% of the windows that are out there. The reason I tell you this is so you can compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Have you guys heard of Energy Star? The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Agency got together and created Energy Star. They originally started going around the country testing the energy efficiency of different products. It first started with computers and household appliances, and finally windows and siding. So we were Energy Star's National Window Partner of the Year for 3 years in a row, and again last year. Now we're proud of that for a couple of different reasons. First, it is the first and only time in Energy Star's history a company has won it 3 years in a row. Secondly, out of 288 different window companies, we came in first. So obviously, our windows were completely loaded, which kind of leads me to the next thing. Believe it or not, windows have a lot of options. Just like cars have a lot of options, your windows will come completely loaded. One of the options that you'll be receiving is ultraviolet protection. What the ultraviolet protection does is stop those harmful rays from coming into your home, fading your carpet, your wood, your furniture, or even your drapes. Now, a lot of the companies use what is called a basic or low E. The good news is it does stop about 55% of those harmful rays from coming into your home. However, the downside is it's comprised of a tin oxide. That tin oxide actually darkens your home approximately 26%. Also, it is that dark coat or film that they bake onto the back of the glass. Now, your home doesn't move, so wherever in your home you get the most sun, in about 3 to 5 years, you're probably going to go and open a window and start to notice some bubbling or crinkling or even it peeling off. That is actually the separation of that film from the glass itself. We don't use that system. What we actually utilize is SolarBand 60. Now, this process has been rated as the best process by the National Fenestration Rating Council to be put on glass for ultraviolet protection. Now, first, instead of a tin oxide, we actually utilize a silver oxide, which is almost completely transparent. It only darkens a home by approximately 4%. Also, ours is not a hard coat that's baked onto the back of the glass. Ours is a soft coat that's sprayed into the glass as the glass is being made, so it's never going to bubble or peel off or anything like that. But if for any reason you had any issue with it, it is warranted for 50 years. Also, you're going to have multiple layers of that SolarBand 60. So instead of just blocking 55% of those harmful rays, ours blocks nearly 96%, which is almost perfect. Also, in the wintertime, it's going to stop the heat. In the summertime, it's going to stop the heat from coming into your home, pretty much like a 10-inch brick wall. And in the wintertime, it's going to stop the heat loss by about 66%. Next is aluminum spacer bar. So when you have multiple pieces of glass in a sash, you're going to have to put something in between the panes of glass to separate them, which will give your window a thermal break, raising the energy efficiency of the window. Now, most companies utilize an aluminum spacer bar. So it is thick aluminum. It goes between the panes of glass, and what will happen is when that aluminum is a natural conductor of hot and cold. So when that glass heats up and expands, that aluminum spacer bar is going to heat up and expand. Whenever it cools off and contracts, this aluminum spacer bar is going to cool off and contract. The issue arises is that it does it at different ratios of conduction than the glass itself. So over time, it's going to start to separate itself. Once it separates itself, that's when you have seal failure. Once you have seal failure, you get that condensation buildup and moisture on the glass, but pretty much your window is shot. Your energy efficiency of the window drops by about 88%. Now, we don't use that system. What we utilize is a stainless steel Intercept U-channel spacer with warm edge technology. So we coat the interior and the exterior of it, and then it adheres directly to the glass itself. But because it's in a U-channel, you're actually going to have constant pressure on the glass. So whenever that glass heats up and expands, that U-channel heats up and expands simultaneously. Whenever it cools down and contracts, that U-channel cools down and contracts as well. We've actually used the system since we've been in business and have yet to have an issue of seal failure. But if for any reason you did have an issue, we would definitely come out and take care of it for you. Which, with those, the two chambers, the Intercept U-channel spacer, the SolarBand 60, all of that together, it does raise the energy efficiency, which over time will save you money. Now, warm edge technology. Warm edge technology, in order to be considered warm edge technology, you can't have any more than 3 degrees variance. So what that means is, say you keep your thermostat at about 70 degrees and it's the middle of winter, so it's 10 degrees outside. If you were to go ahead and take an inside temperature of that window, it would never be any lower than 67 degrees, and vice versa in the summer. 70 in your home, it's 100 outside, 70 in your home, you actually take an inside temperature of that window, it's never going to be any higher than 73 degrees, which is amazing. Now, definitely speaking, krypton gas is a denser molecule than air. It's a transparent insulation that does go in between the panes of glass and raise the energy efficiency of the window. The majority of companies actually use argon gas. Argon gas is 38% more denser than air. However, krypton gas is 110% more efficient than that argon gas. But you're going to be getting 2 full chambers of it in your triple pane glass system, so you're going to be 320% more efficient than just one chamber of argon gas. Have you ever noticed that heating and cooling ducts are below the windows? Well, there's a reason for that. They try to counteract any drafting that does come in, so you don't feel it quite so much. So according to the experts, there's 3 major factors that actually correlated with the energy crisis. And the first one is infiltration. So when a home is first built, it typically takes about 7 to 10 years for it to settle on its foundation. During that settling process, you get about a 1/16 inch crack or crevice around every frame or opening that you have. Experts say that's about having a brick out for each window that you have, and then you're constantly heating it up and cooling it off. It can get very expensive over the years. So with our windows, 90% of the industry actually uses prefabricated windows. So what that means is you'll call somebody to come in and replace your windows. They'll take the measurements and they'll go back to the warehouse and find a window to fit in that opening. However, they're never going to be exact. So it's either going to be a little too big or a little too small. They'll usually go with the smaller ones because they don't want to do any extra framing work. So and then they'll use shims and fillers to fill that extra space. All that is never warranted, and I can guarantee you in another 5 to 7 years, you're going to start to have issues again in infiltration. So if you decide to move forward with us, we'll have a head installer come back out to exact measurements, and then your windows will be custom made to fit each opening. We use a 50-year silicone caulking and an expandable header, so they are airtight. Now, just as important as the installation process is the window itself. So with our window, we actually have 650% less air coming in and out of your home. So Energy Star requires you to have a 0.3 or lower to be considered Energy Star. We actually have a 0.04, which is that 650% less air coming in and out. Now that is due to the gatekeeper sash to sill interlock, the telescoping sill, and the HP3 telescoping sill, which I will cover further in the window demonstration itself. Next is conduction. Like I had mentioned before a little bit, your windows are always conducting. The glass itself is very porous, so you can typically put your hand on the glass and know whether it's hot or cold outside. So whenever it is the summer and that sun is actually on the glass itself, it's conducting all of that heat from outside through your window into your home, turning on your AC every 10 to 15 minutes, which is what you don't want. And vice versa in the winter. Your window's constantly conducting all the heat from inside your home through the window outside, turning on your furnace every 10 to 15 minutes. So you are going to be going from major conduction to no conduction with the Revelation Elite Series window due to the 2 layers of krypton gas, that Solar Band 60, and the Intercept U channel spacers. Now, radiation, just to give you an idea, with builder grade windows, you have practically no protection about radiation. So with the windows, with the Revelation Elite Series window, you are going to be going from almost no protection to nearly 100% protection with that Solar Band 60. You go from their window, to the Revelation Elite Series window. Say you were to go ahead and take all of your windows in your home and put them on the front of your home, you would have a wall that is basically glass, and you'd be constantly heating it up and cooling it off. It can get very expensive over the years. So you're going to be going from maybe a wall that has an R value of about a 1.1 to pretty much a solid brick wall with the Revelation Elite Series with that R10. And now just to give you a little bit more background on LEI to edify and confirm our credibility. We have been members of the Better Business Bureau since our inception. We are also members of BBB Care, who if you had another issue with another company, we would come out and assist you. We are also members of Angie's List and of NARI, which is the National Association of Remodeling Industry. It's a very reputable organization just to be associated with, but to actually belong to them, let you know that we're not going to put your windows in today and be out of business tomorrow. So we have great financial backing. We work with multiple banks and definitely can assist with getting you financed. We also have tens of thousands of homeowners that have references, pictures, and even can provide phone numbers upon request. Now, with the Better Business Bureau, 2 to 1 over the next, most complaints received is for replacement for home improvements, which does also include replacement windows. So for the average home improvement company in just a 3-year history, they have about 18 complaints. we have one satisfied complaint since our inception. Do you guys have any idea why that might be? No, that's pretty close, but no. Subcontractors. Not that subcontractors are bad by any means. You just don't know who you're going to get, whether they're licensed, whether they're insured, certified, and whether their work's going to be quality. So what will happen is with a lot of companies, they'll use a subcontractor to install it. So they'll usually be paid per job. So what they'll do is they'll come out, they'll do the work as quick as possible so that they can get on to their next job. You have an issue with the window. They call the company calls the installer. They don't have anything to really entice them to come back because they've already been paid for the job. So with all of our projects, they are going to be ran and overseen by certified factory installers from the factory outside. They go through a rigorous 2-year apprenticeship before they can even install the Revelation Elite Series window, and that's all they install. So you're definitely going to be knowing who's in your home and on your project. And now for the window.